This last week was dominated by the tragic double deaths and their unexpectedly poignant aftermath. Even if everything works out in the end, the Poison plot line seems to have the potential to permanently alter days of our lives, if the program is bold enough. The entire journey, although the second act of the Orchid Tale was rushed last week, Marlena is still around until at least the end of the following week because Kayla and Kate aren't around. Although it has slowed down, I still believe that Kay and Kay passed away from pacing syndrome. Having said that, there were several poignant moments, including Steve's meltdown in front of Jada and seeing Kate's boys make a pact to stick together. Roman handling everything with his customary panache was kind of lovely, but also a little crazy. In the pub, he was peacefully conversing with Kate's ashes. Our bodies burned to death that quickly. All of this is sending my spidey senses into overdrive, but I'm not quite as convinced as I was. I've alternated between being positive that none of the three women would actually be gone for good and doubting whether at least one of them might actually die. Because, well, ashes, Kate seems to be the natural choice, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Okay, Tony? We have learned that deaths don't matter from days of our lives for far too long to give this the benefit of the doubt. In the end, this week made me reflect on Hallmark and superhero movies. Please follow me here. People don't adore these films because they want to be pleasantly surprised at the conclusion. Love and success are outcomes we all know will occur, but that is not the purpose. The enjoyment of the voyage is the key. Even if everyone survives at the conclusion of this story, I'm a little taken aback by how it's developing thus far. So perhaps the trip will be worthwhile? Although the verdict isn't in yet, at the very least I'm interested. Philip's return is undoubtedly one of the things that will result from this, right? In addition to Kate's passing and the fact that we must say goodbye to Victor, Chloe is obviously not prepared to go back to Brady. I don't blame her either. Whether he was forced to dump her or not, he still chose the worst strategy possible. But if Philip were to return, he might be wiser and nicer, which would complicate their reunion even more. Depending on Stefan's final destination. Although Stephanie may appear shocked, Alex's expression screams, "Oh, asterisk, 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 I screwed up." Image credit, a peacock. Another incidental finding suggests that Stephanie turned abruptly toward Chad. Leaving my issues with Alex aside, he obviously still has a lot of issues to work through, and I like how soapy this is playing out. In addition, Stephanie is crushing my heart. Her emotional roller coaster went from blaming herself for not being able to say farewell to her mother to her response to Alex's revelation. My admiration is for Abigail Klein. You and I were having sex instead of being with my mother as she passed away, and instead of being able to tell her that I loved her. Do you realize how repulsed I feel when you do that? That particular phrase, that hit to the gut, had to hurt Alex, and maybe force him to make amends even if Stephanie and he cannot save themselves. I highly doubt it, but this will solidify her relationship with Chad. He brought her a note from the kids, and it was both adorable and devastating. Of all people, he can relate to her. The wicked ones. Additionally, it's good to see Paulina/Abe and Ali/Channel cope with these deaths in some detail, especially in light of Sloane's disappearance plot. She showing up to yell at Chanel on Friday actually astonished me. It was also interesting to witness her, when Channel freaked out and thought the recently sent lawsuit was a weapon, take the moral high ground. Relax. I don't have any homicidal tendencies in this place. I adore Leo and Gwen together, as well as all the frustrated looks and eye rolls she gives him elsewhere in the Sloane orbit. Sloane's inclusion would make for an intriguing trio, and one that I'm sure the supporters would gladly bash. The fact that Leo and Sloane are having a conversation at someone else's house while the residents don't even live there is ludicrous. It doesn't function like that. Again, enough with the characters hearing things in increasingly ludicrous ways. But Will now has information that will help him remove Leo from unfortunate Sunny. His closest friends and family are always criticizing him for his naivete, but, as Chad maybe rightfully pointed out, protective giving individuals the benefit of the doubt is necessary. Personality crises. Liz's desperation, trepidation, and reaching for straws were amusing to see. It's not so much that I want him to suffer as it is that I like him better when he's not smarmy and in charge. Like Lori said the other week, there sometimes seems to be two Liz. one who cares deeply and one who is a jerk driven by ambition. Leia may not be entirely wrong when he speculates that Gabby committed a similar immoral act to maintain her love, but his "we belong together" spiel screamed poisonous relationship. It amounted to saying, "Come down into the darkness with me, we're both terrible people. Forever." I jumped at the thought of that. Regarding Stefan, I find it fascinating that he says, "So what?" after having been tricked into believing he loved Chloe and hated Gabby. He was kind to Gabby, but he likes himself the way he is right now. There is a deeper meaning there regarding the state of humanity. How much of who we are was shaped by others, and how much of it is innate? Does it affect anything? The people we have interacted with and our own fundamental identity make up the entirety of who we are right now. That's not to argue that we can't or shouldn't change. But yeah, this story about brainwashing has an unexpected depth that I'm digging.